What's going on, guys and girls? How are you doing today? It's Single Roleplay once again, and today I want to share some thoughts and experience with the Incursion League so far. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time to play as we are relocating at this point, and there's a lot of packing shit and gathering shit going on with me, a lot of real life stuff, so I barely had time to play for the last 2 weeks, and I think I played for like a good solid 2 days, and the rest was mostly like 30 minutes here, a couple of hours there, and I only managed to level my Slayer to I think 86, 87, so it's not much, but I had a lot of incursions. I had like dozen of omni-attacks, and I have some thoughts on the league so far and my experience so far. I want to share some thoughts on the meta. So first of all, incursion experience kind of changed a bit as you get more into the maps. When you level up, the whole incursion shit is very good. You get this leveling gear, you get its currency from the currency rooms and all that. It really helps you progress. But once you get into the maps, this incursion is like, and the temple itself, the most importantly, the temple becomes like truly boring in my opinion, and try to avoid it at all costs. One of the most boring things are definitely the rooms themselves and the RNG connected with them. So unless you upgrade your rooms to level 3, there's like no reason to even go there, because rooms level 2, they do not really give anything decent. And outside of the corruption chambers and the places when you can corrupt your gems and corrupt your gear, outside of this two, the rest of the rooms are mostly like garbage. You get some maps, you get some currency, you get some rare weapons, which are mostly fucking garbage all the time. So outside of this corruption chambers and shit, everything is garbage, including the omni-attack as well, which I thought would be like more interesting and more kind of engaging, and the whole battle would be more difficult, I guess. He's most of the time he's extremely easy, even though when you buff him, he becomes much stronger, but still he is much easier than some of the rare monsters in the temple. And another reason why I dislike the temple so much is because some monsters, which are like these soldiers that have like tremendous amount of life. There are many dashing soldiers which attack you with the physical and chaos damage, and they have tremendous amount of life and tremendous amount of damage. There are different rares with powerful crits which actually one-shotted me through 5,000-6,000 life like it's absolutely nothing. So it was absolutely weird when the rare monster kills you with one shot while the endgame boss can't really do anything. And this is why, you know, I'm kind of like this one, for example. You see this, he has quite a fuck ton of life there. So basically, many rare monsters in the temple are much more dangerous than the actual kind of endgame boss, which is very disbalanced, and something is terribly out of tune here. There are many monsters that are super dangerous, even outside of chaos damage. Now, I know there is a lot of chaos damage in the temple, but even outside of chaos damage, there's still plenty of shit that can kill you literally with one hit, like the guys with the powerful crits, the shadows, they kind of dashing from you and then disappear and then hit you from behind. And they're very hard to hit because they are kind of invulnerable most of the time. You can't even see them, and then you fucking die. So these monsters kind of make it pretty silly once you get to the maps, because I didn't even risk myself dying, because even though I'm a softcore player, you know, losing 10% of experience is a pretty shit thing, and I would better just run a few more maps instead of the whole fucking temple, because the outcome of the temple is really bad, and outside of level 3 rooms it's pretty mostly fucking shit, and you know, the chance to die is extremely high in the temple, because like I mentioned a couple of times, the monsters are extremely powerful, and I believe they are slightly out of tune because the damage is just absolutely ridiculous on some of them. To this, all things combined, they kind of make the temple more like an annoyance. You get this Alva Valai in every fucking map, and I believe this is kind of becomes very annoying as the further you progress, and I'm kind of, you know, do not even want to waste my time on the temple, because I just better run a couple more maps, get better loot than the whole fucking temple, and have no risk to die as well, because the maps, I can do something with the maps like roll soft mods and shit. The temple is mostly like a very dangerous place, no matter what. And if you get something like the increased movement speed and in the temple, or the increased life regeneration, the guys with the life regeneration are absolutely fucking retarded. They are extremely hard to kill, and I don't know why is this mode even there, because you know the outcome of the loot doesn't really change. And another thing that I noticed is that if you buff the Omnitect and all this with this hatchlings and shit, this is where I die, by the way. Look at this hit. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous. The dude literally like one shot at me through 6,000, and I have around 50% physical mitigation. So this is a lot of bullshit happening in the temple right now. And like I said, if you buff the Omnitect and if you buff him with like fire, lightning, you know, all the damage, I haven't really noticed any kind of increased drops from him. He always drops like 2 items with custom mods on them and 1 unique item. This is what I usually get. No matter how much I buff him, I try to do the normal Omnitect. I try to buff him with many augments and shit. And overall the drops are always the same. I don't even know what affects the drops on the Omnitect. So even fighting the Omnitect is not really that important in my opinion. So you basically just get this corruption chambers, corrupt the shit, and then just go out of the temple, because like I mentioned, the chance to die in all this shit is just way too high. Another boring thing is these kind of narrow corridors and the doors themselves. At first when I started playing, it's kind of a bit annoying when there is still kind of a hole, you can see there, right? So there is kind of a hole over there. As you see, this you can kind of go there, right? But it's actually closed, so it's a bit annoying. Once you play more, you get used to this, but at first it's kind of very annoying, and you feel like you can go through here, for example, right? But you cannot, because even though there is kind of a hole over there, you can squeeze in there, because it's actually a fucking wall, which is extremely retarded from a design point of view. Like, why you should even make the mini map like this? This is fucking retarded. So outside of these things, the temple is still kind of an occasion, but I just don't find it very entertaining. It became super boring as I got into the map, so I try to avoid it now kind of entirely, and it's not really worth even killing the Omnitect. The buffs, the drops from the Omnitect should be buffed, I think, otherwise it's not really worth even connecting the whole epics, because you know, getting more from the normal rooms is like, look at this damage. This is fucking ridiculous. It just hit me, and like more than a half of my life easily drops. As for the build itself, the Cyclone build that I transitioned from Thunder is kind of okay. I also dropped Hemophilus because I think that they're not very... oh, look at the fucking hits, it's crazy. Just almost instantly hits me, and my health drops to fucking nothing. I mean, a rare should not be as powerful as the endgame boss. So the build itself is a bit frustrating, because I thought that look at this damage, it's crazy. This is basically chaos damage. It was. So you need chaos resistance, a lot of chaos resistance as well. So yeah, now the Cyclone is kind of a bit of weird build, because you are not very tanky. It's still the physical mitigation is far from the Juggernaut. You know, even though there's a lot of leech, I still think that I would hope to get more life, because it's pretty fucking hard to get over 100 life. I'm on 6.3 now, I believe, with literally all the best life rolls, and I really want to get higher than this, but I'm working towards this, and I believe that I might actually succeed. But the life pool is a bit low with the belly of the beast. With Calms, in fact, it can be much higher, but I decided to go with the Vaal Double Strike meta, because the Vaal Double Strike clones are actually extremely powerful, and I believe they might get a nerf actually, because they just a bit too powerful in my opinion. Literally, you can put them in a 4 link and they just kind of devastate a lot of shit out there. So I may continue playing the cycle until I get the Starforge. I'm just saving for the Starforge. I got pretty much all the rest, and even though the gems are pretty shit, they're like 18, 19s now, and still far into I'm still in the yellow maps. I haven't reached a red map, so I'm still progressing, and hopefully I will get more information for you guys. So far I think I will play a bit of the Arc Trapper that I got on my standard, which I started playing in the Harbinger League and level to 89. So I really need to finish that Arc Trap build because everyone and his mama is now playing Arc Traps, and I actually had this build done in the Harbinger. I really want to complete it and do a solid build guide for you guys. So this is it. Thanks for watching. These are my thoughts on the Incursion. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content. I will upload new builds pretty soon as well. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on the new location, because we will most likely be moving at the end of summer, in the middle of this week. We'll be relocating. There will be no internet. There is no monitor, but I figure out something, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and see you soon, guys.